Hi, my name is Amy Dye-Reeves, and I'm currently the Education and History Liaison at Texas Tech University in Lubbock, Texas. And I'm really excited about this position because really for me, it's really the heart of information literacy. And I love helping other people figure out what is facts versus fake news and to figure out the best way to avoid issues such as plagiarism and also looking at copyright and fair use. And so really helping students and faculty and staff learn about the properties of and the intellectual properties to figure out what are some of the best ways we can help them be successful in their careers. Some of the strengths that I have that would utilize in this particular role is active learning as well as active communication. So I feel like it's really important also to have good collaboration skills. I think for myself in the past and in this role as well, I've worked with faculty and staff and students to provide not only 1 credit information literacy sessions. I've done 3 credit information literacy sessions, one-shot instructional sessions, which would be just those 1 classes. And then, throughout the semester, check to see if you have any questions about that particular class. And that could be, just kind of also building ahead of time with the instructor, knowing what their needs are. I like to do a lot of pre-assessment in my work. So I like to figure out where they have started. So depending on what particular class would be, maybe it's a introductory to research skills. And so what you would do is you would start building that relationship with that instructor. And then you would start asking them particular questions. What are some things that you need from this particular class? Do you need it to be taught online? Do you need this to be taught face-to-face? How would you want that to be conducted? Also, how about the core of your particular material? Do you have a project in mind that you want your students to learn? So if there's a particular need for an assignment, I like to look over that assignment and talk with the professor and figure out what are some of the best ways to help them, to help that particular professor. And I also like to do pre-assessment when I do the instruction session. So I'll do a short little poll and asking them what the students, the exposure to information literacy is before. So I like to know, have you used a university libraries before? What are some of the databases that perhaps you have used? I've used a lot of our EBSCO products as well as Web of Science. A lot of our students use Google Scholar, so I have experience using that. I've also worked with students on journal impact factors or identifying journals they want to publish in later on. I work with students on creating APA 7 citations as well as Chicago and familiar with MLA as well, but it's all driven by what the faculty member wants and what they need, as well as conducting that individual consultation for that particular student. I use Google Jamboards to work with our students. So it's very a visual representation. So I like for them to have that research question right in the middle of the Jamboard. And so I'll have 4 different Post-its throughout the board. And so they'll talk to me about that particular question that they have. So they might be, I need to look at this particular database in the right. And then in the left will be our next steps, our to-do list. It might be working with the Writing Center, and maybe working with other partnerships on campus or their advisor, or whoever they're working with, or setting up an appointment with me next. And so it's a really good visual representation of what their question is, and they work around that particular board. And they have access to that board, and that can be a semester or a year. After a year, I like to weed it out just because I get a lot of consultations throughout the year, but it really just depends on how many people that we have. So I like to keep those in a Google Drive in a folder. So that way I'm able to access all that information when that student comes back up for a consultation. So I feel like there's a lot of really great ways to collaborate and work with faculty members. There's social events that are happening on campus. So I like to be involved with that as well. I do book clubs here in our university, and that's connected to our College of Education and our Honors College. And I really feel that in the law school as well, And also we have 2 partnerships that have helped also across the nation. So I feel like when working with all these different areas, partnerships and community is really important. It's also getting in there, attending events, lectures, a webinar series, things that you can get your foot in the door to really know what your researchers are conducting, and also knowing when to help them. So it might be purchasing a particular item or a book, or there's a particular database, having a system in place to do that, to know that they can request a particular database, and we kind of work through that request depending on budgets and funding. But I do feel like partnership and building community is so important because we want them to be successful in every way possible. And so I think providing research parties, which is one thing I would love to have, which is they come in and they have a research question and they meet other students who are having maybe a same research question, or meet new people and have experiences, and also have some refreshments. So allowing them to have more of a group setting to that particular research party. I've actually conducted that online as well. And so I found that it builds community within those particular colleges and departments, and also the faculty as well. I like to do that for little short like webinar series that I do on journal impact factors and how to get published, and all that information. So I feel like just kind of getting to know them and talking with them, I think is really key and important, and to know what their research is so I can figure out what we have available and what we still need to order. And also in the instruction process, also figure out a plan. So we have our pre-assessment, we have our middle assessment, and we have the post-assessment, which is really important because I like to go ahead and change directions possibly if something is not working. And the middle assessment is really important to me to know if it worked or not. So, and I look forward to, if you have any questions for me, and I look forward to hearing from you soon. Thank you all so much for listening today.